Hello, all. Hello, friends. Hello, fools. And hello, dreamers. And hello, self. Yes, hello to all. I'd like to share a little bit more about the gifts I've been receiving and the gifts that keep giving, forgiving, receiving, forgiving. And yeah, there have been so many, and so many this year, so many this last month. The gifts of clarity, the gift of sight, the gift of humility, the gift of like being right as I am, even when I'm wrong. Like it's okay. Like it's part of that wholeness and fullness and freedom, the freedom to be and the freedom to allow us to be and learn and grow and change. Yeah. And see the freedom to see and the freedom to be. And yes, it has been a lot about for me, sight and insight and clear sight. And yeah, blindness sometimes too helps us with that, helps us find our inner sight and our insight and our true sight. Yeah, into what we need, into who we are, into remembering like who we really are and who we really need. The gifts of foresight and the gifts of hindsight and the gifts of going within, the gift of suspension and surrender, and the hanged man. The hanged man. Yeah, I like that. And just reviewing and renewing and seeing into things and seeing into me and seeing all these things and how they relate and correspond and create the whole thing. Yeah, and there are always like blind spots and filters that we have, and that's why we get to call in our inner strength and our insights and our inner teacher, and let go and embrace the mystery and be at peace with that, not knowing and letting go of control and yeah, embracing the known and the unknown and letting it all go so we can flow, we can be in the flow and live moment to moment and really like be receptive to what's being offered, what's being given, what's being presented, what's asking for a response or responsibility, what's asking for love and inclusivity, what's asking for attention, what's asking for care. And yeah, that just brings back a lot of memories too, like from this whole year. And what a gift it's been for me to record certain things in my journals and in my sharing these videos and things and going back to receive them um, through receptivity and listening and just paying attention to what I'm drawn to or what's drawn to me or what holds a gift for me, and it's helping me on my journey and this unfolding and this discovery and my own awakening to yeah, things that I hadn't been aware of or conscious of or ready to see. And so yeah, just a willingness like to allow it to be and to be receptive to the gifts that are here available for me, and welcoming in and inviting like what I want to see and who I want to be and who I get to be and who I get to choose to be and allow myself to be for me. And because it's love that I have for me, it's self-love, it's true self-love and honoring of my being and my energy and of all that's a part of me. And yeah, it's been a continuous journey of discovery and awakening, and so it shall be. Like, and that's one of my words for this year, this new year that we're going into, 2021, is continuity. And yeah, that's a fun one to play with. Continuity. And what's being created, like, through that continuity. And yeah, through the new and the old that are linked through this circle of all things. So it's been, yeah, really great for me to look at some of my old journals. And I was just enjoying looking at my journal from December last year and everything that I had written down about Yule and Christmas and Yuletide and the different mythologies and stories and traditions and virtues that were all a part of that ritual, celebration, observance, time to reflect and acknowledge all that we've been given, all that we've been able to receive, all that we've created together. Um, yeah, all of those gifts, um, the gifts for we and of we and for we, yeah, that we get to create and we get to participate in more consciously. Yeah, so great. And that was such a great gift for me to be able just to take that time, make that time for myself to write and to express things and to investigate things and dig into things and excavate things and reflect and express things. Yeah, express them authentically for me. Because it wasn't anyone else I was writing it for, and that's kind of a belief that I got to change, that it had to be good enough for someone else who might read it later. But really, that was blocking me and my creative energy and my authentic ways of expressing myself is, yeah, through viewing through the judge's lens of what would be acceptable and what wasn't acceptable. And I got to look at those things years ago when I started writing, like, who is this for anyway? Like, who am I trying to impress? Like, really? Like, can I just allow myself to be me or to feel how I feel and just to write, like, anything? And yeah, that was like really helpful for me when I first started that years ago, was that I kept reminding myself, this love is for me. It's for me. And like, it's okay, like, if no one else understands it. And it's okay if I don't even understand it. It's like, yeah, it's just gets to be for me. It's an outlet, a creative outlet. It's directing my energy, something that I needed for me, to be able to express myself for myself, to be true to me. And that had been like squashed down for a long, long time. And so, yeah, that was so helpful to be able to start practicing showing up for that gift, that to receive that gift that was being asked to be expressed and to be honored and to be acknowledged, to be freed and to be shared, and yeah, to be honored, to be reclaimed. But yeah, there was a lot of feelings of fear about like certain things, and about being seen or about not being seen and not being heard, or being heard and shamed, or being heard and told I was wrong, or yeah, being judged harshly. Yeah, and that was the lens of the judge, because that's how I always judged myself, was so harshly through the lens of the judge. And so yeah, that would be like what I was the most afraid of, is being judged harshly through being seen by others, um, using the lens of the judge. And so really it wasn't totally conscious of those fears, but I began to see them in certain ways where, yeah, I would catch myself looking through that lens to judge myself, or yeah, to see myself. And I've done a lot of clearing with that this year, and that's been amazing, like seeing certain ways how it was a lens that was like superimposed over my own ability to see in a lot of ways, and distorted a lot of things. It was distorted energy, like in so many ways. And now it's becoming more clear with the gift of clarity and with the gift of unifying what I needed to unify for me. And yeah, and through love, through the lens of love, and through like forgiveness, and through a willingness, and through that reception, that receptivity, to see all I needed to see and to just let it go and let it be and just work with what is being offered and given. Yeah. And with the opportunities, blessings, yeah, on all those gifts. So it's been a huge gift to shift. Some of it was shit, but that had value in it, like for sure. Um, to be able to accept it, to accept the shit. The shit was what it was, and what it is, and what it gets to be, like for all of us. And yeah, so let's grow something. Let's make something with it, and leave the rest to be composted for, yeah, the growth that we get to claim and choose for ourselves. So I wanted to share just a few like little Christmas gifts that I received that meant a lot to me and that were very pleasantly, yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised, and they meant like so much to me, yes. And now I see one on my shelf over there that I didn't grab, but I had a friend paint me a little aloe plant, and it's like got a little aura around it, and it's just the cutest thing, and it made me so happy that she, yeah, painted that little plant for me. She said I'm the aloe queen, because my aloe plants always do so great. They're always so happy. And every single December I have little pups to give away to, and share with people, and that's like one of my things that I've been doing the last couple years, is sharing the gift of green, and to symbolize that new life in the middle of winter that's growing, and that promise of hope, and there will be new life in the springtime. And it sometimes helps us, like in the cold barren times, to have a little something green in our space and help us remember that it is continuity, and yeah, there is a time for rest and regeneration, so that that can support the new life and the new growth during springtime growth spurts and things. And so, yeah, I love that. And it's just so cute, like the aura around it. I'll show it. Yeah, I'll have to show it to you guys next time. Just so cute and so playful and so like speaks to my inner child, and it inspires me like to paint little things that make me happy, like simple things, simple pleasures of life and joy. Yeah, they're so simple, but they're so rich. So I love that about prosperity and about our sharing our gifts with others. Yeah, and you just keep giving. And then another gift that I got is very like sentimental thing, and it's a book that used to lay on my grandma and grandpa's coffee table when we were young kids around Christmas time, and it's a little poems and stories about Christmas time. It's called Come to the Manger. Yeah. And that's really sweet to me. And yeah, I do remember like yeah, I remember this book, and when I opened it, my aunt had given it to me. There's these smells that came from the book that like took me back like to that time, and it was just like, oh, this is so special. This is so special for me. And I just flipped it open. Yeah, to this page. But that's funny. I don't have my glasses here. What I opened to is the shepherds had an angel. And then there's this little story and this little poem, and it's the three wise men and the star, this light shining down. Yeah, I don't have my glasses right now, but yeah, that's okay. And then another gift that my auntie gave me was this little bear. Yeah, she knows that bear is one of my animal totems, and it's a little symbol for my altar and for my space, and I really appreciated that. And yeah, and I thank her for that. Yeah, that was really sweet. Like heart resonance. Yeah, those gifts that resonate like with our heart and our truth, and that are simple, but they mean so much, and they can remind us of so much, and about our own power and our own creative imagination, and our own ability to connect with, our own, um, creative being and our child, and yeah, tap in and access those powers for us to create, with and through. And so, and I love bear and bear medicine. Yeah, bear medicine. Bear was one of my favorite animals when I was a kid, and there was only like one type of stuffed animal that I collected, and it was teddy bears. And so, just like kind of remembering those kinds of things, how close bear has been to me and with me in my life through those ways and through those things. And so, that's pretty special for me. And then there was another beautiful gift that I had forgotten that I asked for, and it was so like freaking amazing to me. My mother-in-law had asked me like months ago. It seems like I don't even know if it was May or June. Like what kind of? She asked me, I want to do a painting for you. So, what would you like? And I think I sent her like one or two images, but I had totally forgotten because it's been so long, and it seems like it was even last year because this year has been so loaded. But I was like, wow, I forgot what I asked for. This is like a genuine surprise. And this is the beautiful, beautiful painting that she painted for me. And it's just, wow. That's beautiful. So beautiful. And just, enjoying it now and seeing like why she spoke to me. And of course, she's a beautiful woman on the rocks. And just above the waves of the sea. And she's got a lantern in her hand, and she's looking deeply out into the vast sea. And behind her, there are these cliffs and this lighthouse. And like she is like that lighthouse. And she's a lighthouse in her being. Yeah. As she is. Through her being. And just reminded me too of the archetypes of the magician and the high priestess and the hermit. Yeah. And the inner teacher. Yeah. And she's alone, but she doesn't look lonely. She looks content, and she looks like she, has mastered herself, and she trusts that she's held. And she's just like so juicy and beautiful, and as she is, just being through her being. And so I love that that gift that was given to me, and that gift that I had asked for and that I had forgotten about. And it's just so funny because it made me think, oh, that's so funny. What else have I asked for and I forgot about? And I get to be like really pleasantly surprised when it comes about. And so it's just funny because sometimes we ask for things and we totally forget, and then when they come, and it's just such a treat. And and we appreciate them so much. And I really do appreciate all the gifts that are shared with me through all the ways that we share our gifts with each other, and we share parts of ourselves and our lives and our talents and our gifts with each other. And it does really light up our lives, and that's what life is all about, like that gift and sharing and giving and receiving, being receptive and asking for what we want. So it's a good reminder. We can always ask for what we want, and we can show up for that, and we can be receptive to it, and we can also see where we might be in resistance to it, and what the payoff there is for that. And so it just reminds me of something that I did 2 years ago about self-love and care and being receptive and being aware and being present, and to let go and to open and to receive and to be the willingness to receive and honor the exchange. Honor what's being given and free it to be received. Yeah. And self-love and care has been a huge thing, um, that I've chosen for me, to be true to me, to be free, so I can be free and I can be this love that I need for me, and I can offer it and share it and contribute, um, to a well-being, to our well-being, um, to all that we really be, as we are part of each other. Yeah, as we are one whole, and we are one in the whole. And that's what it's all about. Yeah, being held and holding that well, being held within the well and holding the well within. And the great heart, being held within that heart that holds all and holding it all. Yeah, and freeing it all and allowing it all and like honoring it all, and letting go of what we no longer need to carry, and giving that back to the great heart. Yeah, because the great heart, um, frees and releases and forgives and receives all things. And so, yeah, it's about choice, love, care, and responsibility. And yeah, which I wrote down like the Hermetic principles, the 7 Hermetic principles at the beginning of the year in January, and was like kind of looking at that and working with that. And then I had mentioned like there was an 8th principle that I hadn't been aware of like a couple months ago that came to my attention, and I was like, oh, and that had to do with care and putting um, putting in some action to demonstrate that care. And yeah, and I feel like that's what was being asked of me too, to make room for inspired action. Um, as part of that care that I have for creation, and part of that care that I have for myself at being a part of that creation and being a part of Creator. And yeah, that self-love and self-care, and wanting, and desiring to be um, in service to the whole, and to show my care in the ways that I can and am able to. And instead of taking it all on like Atlas though, but like showing up in ways that like I really need to for me, or that life is asking me to show up for, to contribute to that whole, and to contribute to my own well-being, and to the well-being of our beautiful planet, and to the well-being of the collective, to show up and share my gifts, and let go of how they're supposed to be received, or the ego's agendas of what I want them to see, or what I feel like they should see, or what I feel like I should see, and certain things, and just allowing it to be and unfold, and being in fluidity. And paying attention though, and responding and everything, not spiritually bypassing things, but attending to what's being asked of me when I don't feel well, or don't feel comfortable, or something is coming up to show me like what wants to be acknowledged and addressed, or confronted, and integrated, forgiven, received, and then released and freed, and all those things. So it's a continuous process. It's like continuity, and letting go of the resistance, or just letting go of the beliefs I had about resistance, and allowing the resistance, and then letting that fall away, or learning how to work with it and see how I got in my own way. So it's kind of funny, just being silly being silly. And we fool ourselves all the time, and that's right, and that's part of the rhyme. And silliness of time, and that gift too, like with foresight, insight, and hindsight. Yeah, and yeah, seeing it all unfold as time like kind of goes by, and then within the moment as well. It's just amazing and magical. But receptivity, through that receptivity, and yeah, and through the magic of trust and learning and growing and changing our minds and changing our ways of operating. So I have this little board here that I did, self-love and care. I'm to show you, like, yeah, did it a little while ago for a circle, because everything that I learn, I love to share it because it's helped me and it's taught me so much. And then sharing it with others, hey, if they learn something too, and or they can receive what I'm offering, and they can take it, receive it, and make it theirs, and it's however it resonates with them. Like, I'm happy to offer and contribute that, like, for all of us. And yeah, it's just an awesome gift that I get to give and offer and share. And it is like a gift that keeps giving, because I get so much out of it, expressing and sharing, and then like integrating all of this for me, for my well-being, and for my own healing journey, and what I'm here to offer, be, give, and share. And so that's, yeah, just a big part of it. Yeah, showing up and being me, being myself, and allowing myself and sharing myself. Yeah, sharing these gifts. That's the gift of ourselves, a gift we get to realize, choose, see, honor, and be, and free for ourselves. So I have written down: participate in the exchange, imagine and dream, renew, nourish, respond, notice, attend, embrace, intend, choose, bless, celebrate, praise, thank, offer, express, play, practice, share, goodwill, trust and accountability, direct our energy, allow, release, give, free, and receive. So focus and listen. Receptivity: what are we aware of? What are we receiving? What are we contributing? What are we creating? What are we claiming, nurturing, feeding, and freeing? What do we belong to? And what do we serve? Where is our focus and attention, our reception? What are we willing to show up for? What are we willing to ask for? What are we willing to receive? What are we willing to allow, let go of, and release? What are we willing to see, offer, and be? Choose, create, honor, and free. So, what are we choosing? What choices are available? What do we want to see? Who do we get to be? What do we love? What are our passions? What do we know that we can allow ourselves to see and receive? What is love asking or offering to me? What do we desire, hope for, want, and need? What are we grateful for? And what can we seed? What can we thank, bless, celebrate, and praise? What can we invite in? What do we have to work with? And what do we have to draw upon? What are our resources? Calling it all in. What do we want to invite, develop, cultivate, welcome, ignite, honor, claim, rename, rewrite? What do we want to, and what do we get to integrate? What do we get to experience? What do we get to transform? What do we get to alchemize? What do we get to harmonize? What do we get to purify? And what do we get to unify? What do we get to liberate? What do we get to generate? What do we get to embrace? What do we get to surrender? What do we get to sacrifice? What do we get to embody? What do we get to live? How do we get to live? who do we get to be? Yeah. And so those are good questions for focus and contemplation and receptivity. Yeah. To help ourselves remember, like, that we're, co-creators in this dream. And we can create what we want and what we need. And it's just, what can we dream? What are we willing to show up for? What are we willing to ask for? What are we willing to, contribute to? What are we willing to sacrifice and let go of in order to make room for that new life? And so all good questions to look at and reflect on. And it's a good time to renew and a good time to look at those things, and know that we have the power to create, and we can participate, and we can ask for what we need and be willing to make the room to receive it, and not have expectations about how it's supposed to look or be presented or offered to us. And just embrace the mystery and let go of the fear that we have of the unknown, because that's a part of it. Just letting go of certain fears, or facing fears, or acknowledging the fears that are there and asking for help with facing those, meeting those, and letting go of those, transmuting those fears, because those fears actually hold a lot of power for us. And if we can own some of those fears that we've been projecting and or neglecting ourselves because we don't want to face them, there is huge amounts of power to reclaim there, and knowing that we can overcome, or we can come through them, or we can override them, or we can thank them as a lesson to show us what we've been hiding from, and all that. So I wanted to share a little bit of this journal, my writings that I've been looking at from last December. And it's just wow, I just love it. It just makes me smile, seeing where I was then and where I am now, and just how it is a part of the continuity. And it's just cool to see what I've been working on, and what I've been working with and playing with and inviting into my life, and allowing through my receptivity to express through me, my life being expressed through me, and my life alive within me, and my life being expressed through being me, through loving me, through embodying my love, and through embodying life, through my being, through my ways of being. So that's really cool, the gift of being alive, and the gift of being here, and the gift of experience, and the gift of creativity, and expressing the truth within me. So feels good, feels very good. Even sometimes when it doesn't feel good, it's really, it is a gift to be able to express and release it, and own it, and forgive it, and know that it's a part of my journey and my experience. So pretty amazing. And there were some dreams coming up last year at the end of the year that were interesting, and so I wanted to share this little dream. And it was so funny to me because of what's played out in certain ways this year, and where I kind of got tripped up a little bit in my own fears. And it was just really great hindsight and insight now about all of this silliness, and this gift that it really was, this gift that I've been given. And so I had this dream on December 5th, 2019. So I'm not really sure, but I'm in a building with some kind of so-called body of authority. Is it the FBI or another ABC agency, or policy enforcer of some kind? Just seem like self-made bullies, play in games, machinations of the mind, the power and control, manipulation, deceit, coercion, threats and bribes. There's pressure through fear and insecurity, reward and approval system. Yeah, reward and approval and punishment system. Kind of entertaining. Um, it's kind of an entertaining game, or is it an entrancement of compulsion and reactivity? So they want to get information out of me, pressuring me to cooperate. And I almost do, and then I decide not to. It's like a switch that flips. And I wrote down in parentheses, projected image. And I'm not myself anymore, but I'm something primal, and I'm full of rage. I'm full of salt and vinegar, my inner sassafras and my snarky teenager emerging and coming out to play. The rebel warrior, the self-righteous martyr. Yeah. Oh, something's activated. And my psyche's programs of opposition, locked in opposition. So it's like my defiance. My defiance against like the bullshit and the coercion, and where I feel like I was being forced and not allowed, and yeah, just pressured, and it didn't feel right. It didn't feel good. So it was like a part of me, a complex activated in certain ways. So they're asking me questions about my aunt, about my auntie, and about what about? I'm not sure really. But they're pretending that they care for the welfare of the planet, and they are lying, and they don't even know that they're lying. They really just want to be right and in control, so they are pretending and lost in their roles. I thought that was interesting and funny, because I've been talking about that, like the roles that we play, and yeah, our identities that we've been attached to, and yeah, how we cast ourselves and others in this play. So some of the things that I'm saying back to them, or in response, or in negative reaction, stings. It stings like there's a charge in it, that it's expressed and it activates pain. I say something snarky to a friend who's there, I don't know, she's all of a sudden there, and then I feel badly, and I tell her to come here for a hug. And she doesn't really understand what's going on. She's so confused, like she doesn't even know what's happening. And so I wonder if there's a better way that this can be done, like to speak my truth, holding my truth, and being at one without needing to defend, pretend, and offend. But in a way, being defiant felt good, and it was fun. So there was payoff there. Like, yeah, for the ego, like, yeah, this is kind of funny. And then I was telling them off. I was telling them all off, and I was done. It was done in a way that was truthful, but maybe it was ego-driven in certain ways. There was a definite agendas at play to be right and to hold sway, to justify judgments and blame. It was the self-righteous game, being run by programs of guilt, pain, and shame, and self-righteous authority scripts and descriptions. To cut them all down with my hostility and my moral superiority, my wider vision and my precision. Of my way is better, can't you see? LOL, I just gotta laugh at me and let it all go and let it all be. Let it all teach and show me what love's needs is asking of me. Yeah, what love needs and is asking of me. So show up and do my best. Breathe and pause, receive, respond, and trust that love is offering something, everything, always, through all ways. Cooperation and challenges, growing, learning, and playing, stretching and opening, personal and impersonal patterns at play. Personal power, responsibility, integrity, being one with me. Mastering personal energy, and being all my love for all of me. Being all my love for all of me, and honoring all of my energy, stewarding this gift of love that I get to be, share, live, dream, free, receive, and embody for all of me, through all of me. Yeah, through all I am, through all we are. Like, yeah, all those ways. So I thought that was freaking great. And December 5th, yeah, 2019, that dream that showed me. And now with hindsight, I see how a lot of that played out during this time of 2020, especially the first part of the year. All of that came into play, and it was so great. Oh my God, it taught me so much. And so I'm still learning, and I'm still seeing more and more and more about it. And it's just, wow, really potent. Potent changes, potent change. And December 6th, I wrote union, circle, arc, bridge, tree of life, roots, trunk, branches, the three worlds, the serpent, the eagle, and the squirrel. And so, yeah, there's some other really cool things that I had written down, and like questions to ask. And I was preparing for my winter circle, the winter solstice circle that I was holding, and I always get like super inspired around these times, like, ooh, what can I bring in? And what can, what wants to play through this or be expressed here? And like, ooh, like getting all these creative ideas and inspiration. And it's like, wow, like I end up having like so much material that could do like probably a week's retreat with, like, really. But then it just kind of unfolds in its own way through this play and through all the group participation and energy resonance and resonatings. Yeah, and yeah, how it just does play out and play in and through all of these ways, and through the mystery of we, yeah, of all things. And so it's just like, yeah, such beautiful gifts that are received and given for giving and exchange, and being open and receptive to the fluidity and the freeing of the energy, and to setting my intentions in service to the whole. And yeah, sometimes there's things that I want to focus on, but those aren't actually sometimes a lot of the things that do get shared in certain ways, because like the energy sometimes wants to go another way, or it serves serves the whole to have like this different focus, or this mystery, or this creative energy come through and be expressed, rather than having the ego control like what we think it needs to be in those certain ways. And so, yeah, it's perfect, and it's perfectly imperfect, and through all these ways, and in through all our ways. So it's so awesome. Like what things really are, and what we really are, and who we really are. And so, yeah, I wrote down a few of these things. So sacrifice. A sacrifice is to make sacred. It's a clearing and purification, confession, and forgiveness. So be a compassionate witness. Trust and willingness, goodwill, humility, mercy, grace, blessing, acknowledging, honoring, thanking, and releasing to receive and be filled again. Redirect our energy, make room, silence, emptiness, allowing, softening, opening, hospitality. Receptivity, generosity, all is right to be. What are you ready to release or integrate? What are you ready to make the room to release or integrate? Meditate, review, open, contemplate. Breathe in love, breathe out to make space. Open and surrender, receive and release. So just with the breath there can show us so much, just being with our own breath, of how we open to receive that gift of that breath and spirit and nourishment, and then allowing it, letting ourselves be filled, and then gratefully letting go of it. It can be that easy, like as easy as it is to enjoy that, of how good it feels to take a nice, deep, clear breath of fresh air to help us recenter and be here, like be with the gift and be the gift, and be a witness for that gift to come through, to come in, to be expressed from within. Yeah, I love it. So reflection, thank you, gratitude, focus, love and clarity, responsibility, review the lessons, gifts, challenges, and opportunities. Appreciation, honoring all the gifts of growth, connection, healing, all that is unfolding now and revealing. Connections, relations, gifts, and reflections. Belonging and homecoming. Full circle return. What has grown in you and your life that you can honor and bless, appreciate and celebrate, acknowledge and nurture to cultivate and elevate. So, yeah, what has grown? What has been grown this year? What's been nourished and attended to? And what has bloomed? And what has come into being? And what's been manifested? And yeah, what can be appreciated and blessed and celebrated, acknowledged and nurtured? Yeah, to be further cultivated and elevated. Yeah, all of that. Intentions, attention, invitation, and invocation. Welcoming the new in. Love, guides, support, dreams, visions, relationships. Imagine. Imagination. Let's use our imagination. Let's ask to see it. Let's choose and praise and bless and welcome, call in and thank. Focus on love and possibilities, growth, potential, strengths, creativity and engagement and accountability. What are our intentions? Yeah. What would you like to call in, invite, and create? Appreciate, nurture, grow, and cultivate. Welcome, thank, and bless. Love for coming and being here always. Yes, because love is always here. Love is always here. Love is always here within and surrounding all of we. And it's up to us to receive that and be receptive to that and to see it and to meet it and to acknowledge like what is here and what is available. Sometimes that's hard to see. Sometimes we don't feel well, and we're in pain. But yeah, that gift of pain is helping us too, and helping us see what we get to attend to, and helping us see what we can choose and what we can ask for our healing and for like our being and for our learning and our growing and our changing and our becoming. So, yeah, I like that. And yeah, the next thing that I have here, since it's December 28th, I'd been writing about the 12 days of Yule and little snippets, little nuggets about each day. And I'll just share December 28th was the 9th night of Yule, and it's sacred to Odin and the fathers. So it is a day for welcoming, honoring, and celebrating the men in our lives, the sacred masculine, who have impacted, blessed, and enriched our lives. And taking the time and the focus today to thank that divine masculine and that divine male energy, the father energy, and the men in our lives, like the partners in our lives too, and or the brothers in our lives, or the sons in our lives, and thanking them for their contributions and for their light and for their protection and their wisdom and their gifts that they share with us and the life that they share with us, and through being themselves and through honoring themselves and through being love for all and for themselves. So Odin and the fathers. Odin was the chief god in Norse mythology. He was the ruler of Asgard, and he had one eye that blazed like the sun, associated with war, victory, death, wisdom, magic, learning, the sky, and poetry, and the hunt. From his throne, he could see everything in the universe, the creator of Germanic peoples, and let's see, Odin was the creator of the Germanic peoples and the father of many important gods and heroes. So we welcome the gods and the sacred masculine, honor the men who have blessed and enriched our lives. And there's correspondences to Odin and Sleipnir and Santa and the reindeer, and the virtue is honor. And I have written down also observance. So that's pretty awesome. And tomorrow, for December 29th. That's the 10th night of Yule, from sunset to sunset. It's sacred to Suna and the light. And Suna was a goddess of the sun and of the light. Sunna. And so the day of Freya, illumination and emanation of warmth, growth, and light. On this night, many will stay up all night with family and friends to say goodbye to the old Suna and Luna and hello to the new day. And the virtue is justice. And some of those correspondences I wrote down were clarity, equity, fairness, balance, gentleness, mercy, one who understands knowledge. So that's for the 9th night and the 10th night of Yule. So yeah, just this gift of this journal that has so much love in it, and it was for myself, and now it's like I see like how much love, yeah, it really is, and it really holds, and how much love is within me that wanted to be expressed and received for me, and for being, and for giving, and for sharing, and for learning, and for growing, and just the joy of it, just the joy of expressing itself, joy expressing itself, joy expressing herself, life expressing the joy of being alive and being part of this self, this whole self, this one self, this light and this life and this darkness, yeah, that we get to unify. So how awesome is that? It's freaking awesome to me. But yeah, there's just so many things always to share and to appreciate and to bless and to welcome in and invite, and also, yeah, to give and be and receive, and just to witness and to free, and just blown away by all those things and continuity, and just how we get to express them through our lives if we allow ourselves to be. Yeah, that's what I'm realizing more and more as I become more of me. So yeah, just through letting go and releasing and forgiving. So forgiving has been like the huge thing. Wow, one of the biggest blessings and one of the gifts that I could have given to me. And I really do appreciate and thank that gift of remembrance and reminding me when I was sent that book of the Forgiving Self a little while ago. Yeah, was it in the last week or so? I don't know. I've had so much come through since then. And just being willing to face that part of myself that hurt and felt wrong and condemned and judged, but being willing to observe and meet myself and the feelings that I was having, and just witnessing it, and then like really knowing that it was my choice, and I could choose to forgive, and I could choose to forgive the pain and the hurt, and that those parts of me that I felt were being judged as unworthy, and those parts that I felt were judging me and causing me pain, and yeah, it was beautiful how it just unfolded and how it got to play out and play, in and through me, like just by paying attention and listening to my wounded child and that part of me that was hurting and that really needed acknowledgement, and that really needed me to see her and allow her to be. And yeah, that was what I was able to offer for me and receive for me and give to me, so I could be freed from my suffering, and forgiving myself for not knowing and for not understanding or not seeing like what I really needed for me. And then able to allow that for all others as well. And really got a lot out of seeing what wasn't so clear, like about some of those things, when I got to write like those 18 pages that day, and how some of my disappointments and my resentments and all of those things, like how I got to clear and purify and recognize those gifts that were being given, and showing me certain things where like I got to include me, and I got to set boundaries, and I got to release some things, and I got to make choices that were more in alignment with me and more honoring of my energy. And so, yeah, that was really amazing and such a beautiful gift to receive. And so that's why, yeah, I'm so grateful for that continuity and for just being willing to um, work with all this and play with all this and just be love for me. And yeah, look at certain things or look into certain things and see into things and call on the resources and be willing to open, soften, and receive, be receptive through receptivity, through that gift of being and being one with me, being one with me and we, all we be. So yeah, just all of it. I just flipped open to this page and I guess I'll just start reading it. I don't know what's here really. So, pain, self-destructive suffering, programming, the false images on the outer inner screens. And yeah, I or my ego really thought that they would and should know about all of these things, about Monsanto, Big Pharma, Big Oil, the deep state, the control mechanisms of the false light, the false perception, the false ego control, false pride, false self-control and manipulation. Why didn't they know? Was it somewhere they chose not to go and look and see into, or were they just not willing, able, or ready to? And just like me, I guess there were some places I really wasn't able to look into for quite some time because I was afraid of the things that I might see or find. And I thought it would be way too terrible to conceive, see, or receive. Being ready, willing, and able to go within me a few years ago was one of the scariest things that I chose for me. But my soul was calling, and I really couldn't ignore her any longer. It was almost as if I had no other choice but to pay attention and listen. So she pretty much demanded it of me, and I knew I would be destroyed if I decided to stay in my comfort zone, destroying myself with all of these things that were slowly killing and poisoning me. Bring forth that which is in you, and so forth. So bring forth that which is in you to save you. If you do not bring forth that which is in you, that which is in you will destroy you. And that's what I got from that. But I am seeing now that we all have our own paths, journeys, lessons, passions, and we need to get that we need and get to choose for our soul and her lessons. And we all hold and carry so many gifts, blessings, strengths, and codes to help one another on our own unique roads. So I am willing to forgive, release, and let go, surrendering all so I can let go. So in a way, I was giving my power away to, false self-images, to outer images and external authorities. And there were people that I thought had the answers for me, and so I realized how very angry I am or have been with myself for believing, that they could fix or solve certain things. That I could change them through sheer will and effort, or they needed to change. Trying to be what they are, or I thought they or I needed to be right, to be pleasing, to be enough for me and we. And this was one of my false core beliefs, inherited and programmed through self-deception and trickery and external interference. So, and I think I have shared that little part in another video, but it just came up again, like, because that was part of the 18 pages that I had written that day that I got that book. I received that book, The Forgiving Self, and I was able to, like, after forgiving and making that choice to forgive, then I was actually able to receive, because the space had been made for me to recognize and allow, like, myself to see things and myself as they are, and as it was playing out and as it was being created and all of those things. So it was pretty magical and a huge gift. And it did take a few minutes to swallow some pride about some things, but it was actually, like, because it was the wounded child and those stories that came up around that wounded child about her being wrong and her not being seen for who she really was. And yeah, there was, yeah, a lot to see in that for me. And so, and I feel like complete, and I feel like some closure in a lot of ways. Uh, that's what I needed for me to reconcile some of these conflicts and being at war with me. And now I feel like I'm in a completely different space where I can let go of what's not mine to carry, and I'm willing to hold and carry what is mine and what is my responsibility and shine. Yeah. And also claim that shittiness too, like, because that's part of mine and thine too. Like, that's the fertility of it, and I get to decide what I get to do with it. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm going to choose to build a garden and yeah, um, and to nourish